The art of non-thinking. Now, when you first hear me say that statement, you might be a little bit confused because all our life we've been thinking. It doesn't seem like something we're readily able to turn off just at a whim. I've been reading this book, or I read this book in the past. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think, you know what I'm saying, by Joseph Nguyen. It's a very interesting book. It really changed my perspective, and I wanted to share the concept of non-thinking with you guys today. And I learned it from this book. So, the art of non-thinking, if I had to describe it, it is to notice and observe your thoughts, but not to entertain them, not to go back and forth in your mind with them. Because, say for example, a thought pops up, a negative thought, or maybe even a positive thought. Let's start with the most positive thoughts, right? Because the first thought you have, it often comes from how you might have been as a child, just very curious about the world, wanting to experience things, wanting to see what happens, and how things will turn out for you. Say, for example, you see a girl you want to approach. I'm going to bring it to me. And you're like, dang, she bad. Let me go talk to her. The next thought that follows is, oh, she probably too good for me. She probably thinks she's better than me. She probably got a man. I probably can't take care of her. She look real good. She look high maintenance. I don't got enough bread for her. She not going to like me regardless, right? All that beyond, I think she looks good. Let me go talk to her. That right there was the thought. I want to go talk to her. That's your thought. But you battling it back and forth in your mind, that's where the thinking comes in, right? There's a difference between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts are what you can say come from the universe or God or your higher consciousness, right? Those are the things that you don't try for. Those are the things that they just come to you seemingly out of nowhere. And if you choose to follow them, they might lead you to greater places than you could ever even imagine. For example, saying, I want to go talk to that girl. That's your thought. If you act in alignment with just pure curiosity, you don't really prefer either outcome either way. It's not really, you know what I'm saying, a bad thing to experience what comes with that. She might reject you, it might feel bad, but you survive. And you learned that you can attract, or you can go and approach an attractive girl that you wanted to go talk to. And if you hold the belief that you are the type of guy who can attract the type of women that you want, you will eventually see that forming in your reality. But the act of thinking it through, right? It's nothing but a coping mechanism. It's nothing but a defense. It's nothing but trying to prevent yourself from feeling pain, which is understandable and has been informed by the way that you lived your life up to this point. So thoughts, organic, they come from somewhere higher than yourself. Thinking is you trying to rationalize everything. You being like, you seeing yourself as just a human being who thinks real logically. You know all the possibilities that could ever happen, which you think you know all the possibilities, but you really don't, right? And you act in alignment with those thoughts. You're like, let me be realistic and not even go for what I wanted to go for, even though I wanted to go for it, because this is the reality or your perceived reality. And now you might ask, where does your perceived reality come from? It comes from the way that you've lived your life up to this point. However, you may have been in your childhood, you were a lot more curious, a lot more open. You didn't care about failing. You just wanted to see what the world had to offer. You were a student of life, you could say. Seeing how certain things were deemed bad, say for example, because of the environment you grew up in or how your parents raised you, you learn to suppress the more primal aspects of yourself, right? Say for example, just trying things. It's something that might lead you to experience failure. It might lead you to experience embarrassment. It might lead you to experience judgment. All things which people deem to be bad. So if your parents are telling you that all these things are bad, it's bad for you to fail, it's bad for you to be nervous, it's bad for you to experience failure, it's bad for you to get embarrassed. Anything that would cause you to act like that, or any action that would cause you to feel like that, you start to naturally avoid it as a defense because it was deemed to be bad. It was of you before you were conditioned by the world and the people around you. But now it's been suppressed just because someone saw it fit to inform you that that is the correct way to live. Now you've been playing this role, right? It's not even the real you. It's the you that's been manufactured by the world around you. You naturally avoid certain situations in which you would be embarrassed, in which you would experience failure, in which you would be nervous because those things are seen to be bad. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to be seen as less than. None of that. So you're going to avoid those situations naturally, right? Because if you don't experience them, nobody can say that they're you. Easy solution, right? But it's not really the way to live a full life, I would say, if you experience negative emotions and you try to run away from them. Because say what you want about it, positive emotion, negative emotion, it's a natural feeling that we all get as a human being. It's something that we experience as part of the human experience, right? So trying to cut off one side because it makes you feel bad and it makes you start to lose your sense of self, it's not really the greatest way to live, in my opinion, because you're closing yourself off to your potential, a lot of your potential. Who knows? You could have pulled that girl, but you never know because you never tried. And I want to be the type of boy that tries, right? So all that thinking that you were doing, which has been conditioned by the way you lived your life, it's causing you to have these subconscious negative thoughts, right? The organic positive thought is what you really want. The thinking that comes after, that is the negativity that brings you back down. It stops you from taking action, keeps you comfortable. It keeps you from taking any risk whatsoever. And that has been informed by you playing this role all your life. Think about it like an actor, right? An actor that plays a certain position, if they play that position for long enough, subconsciously they start to align themselves with who that character is. And even after everything is all said and done and you're no longer acting, the movie is finished, right? You know what I'm saying? You got paid, you straight now. You don't got to act like Bo no more. You can now act like yourself. Somewhere in your subconscious, though, you still believe you're that person. So those thoughts which come from your subconscious mind, they're, you know what I'm saying, informing you of what you think is the reality, which in most cases is not. It's just your limited, you know what I'm saying, scope of the world. But with that frame of thinking, you think that's the reality. You think that's you thinking those thoughts. You think they're really you trying to show you what's in your best interest. Therefore, you follow them. Therefore, you take heed. Therefore, you take no action. But like I said, that's no way to live. Like I said, difference between thoughts and thinking. The act of non-thinking, right? You get that first thought, wherever it comes from. Who knows where it comes from, right? That pure organic thought that really tells you what you truly desire in this world. You didn't have to try to have it. It just came to you. So it's just something that you naturally want. I want to get that girl, for example. I want to get that girl. Instead of thinking it through and trying to mitigate the possibility of any rejection or risk or failure, just go through with it. Act in alignment with that thought. Oh, that girl bad. Let me go speak to her. Go speak to her. Who cares how it goes? It doesn't say anything about you unless you let it. It doesn't have to unless you let it. You go after that girl. She say she got a boyfriend. Okay, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Nobody really cares, bro. All you got to realize is that you acted based on your desire and you've proven that to yourself that you're able to do that. It's not even about getting the girl oftentimes. It's not about getting anything outside of yourself. It's really just proving to yourself that you are who you say you are, right? Or you are who you say that you want to be. I want to be the person that attracts this type of girl. Therefore, I need to act in alignment with that type of person. Therefore, I don't hesitate. I act direct. I say what I want. I say what I mean what I say. And that's where the distinction happens. That's the art of non-thinking. You realize the first thought you have, which reveals your truest desires, and you go for that without thinking it through. Because the thinking part, your brain is trying to keep you safe. You've been conditioned to avoid any type of discomfort. So your brain is trying to convince you to not do that thing. Think about it, right? You're the closest to your original thoughts before you start thinking. But the more you start thinking things through, the longer time you take, you just go down. You know what I'm saying? You just keep going down. You feel me? It's best to just act on your desire before you can really think things through. That there, you know what I'm saying, something bad will happen to you. Now, if there's true merit to the thoughts, right? If there's true danger that you're facing and the risk of doing something, then yeah, take heed to those thoughts. But you have the awareness to realize that just asking out that girl, it's not going to be the end of the world if she says no. You're not really experiencing any type of danger, gang. It's just an interaction. It says nothing about you. It says nothing about nothing. The reality is she just, you know what I'm saying? She ain't want you. You wanted her for whatever reason. She ain't want you. Don't try to assign no type of meaning to it. Don't try to think, oh, maybe she didn't want me because because you just don't know. And it does you no good to think that way, right? Say, for example, you think you're ugly. You still look how you look. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm ugly, and then you get 10 times uglier. No, you still look the way you look, gang. So it does you no harm to say, oh yeah, I'm an ugly ass bull. Because you want a girlfriend, right? You want to experience a woman, all those things. So act, you know what I'm saying? Go after her, work on your social skills, learn to be comfortable, learn to be confident. And the only way to do that is to experience the thing over and over and over again. If you experience the failure enough times and you realize that you survive every single time, you no longer feel like you need that thing. And that's where your internal confidence really will come from. Without feeling like you need it, you approach it out of want, but not out of need. Therefore, if you only want it and you don't need it, you're not so pressed to get it. So you don't really prefer either outcome that much either way. I'd be good with her. I'd be good without her. it don't really matter because this doesn't define me because I don't need the joint, you know what I'm saying? And the way for you to get there, or the way that you got there, was to not think. You really listened to the higher being that you have to tell you what you really want, and then you went after it. Simple as that. Tried, might have failed, might have succeeded. The only fact of the matter that matters is that you tried. Because trying to get something, if you try hard enough, if you try long enough, you're bound to get better. You're bound to, you know what I'm saying, your shot is bound to fall at some point in time, bro. You're not going to fail forever. And even if you do, you can take pride in being the person that goes for what they want, because you don't need anything outside of yourself. You just need to love yourself. You don't need any external love if you already have that within yourself. And the only way to build that internal love is to be confident in yourself, right? To be a person worthy of loving. And the only way to prove that to yourself is to do the things that you say you value and do the things that you tell yourself that you're going to do. It's really as simple as that, but we often overcomplicate it because we think that our thinking is our original thoughts, which is not. It's informed by our subconscious mind, which is informed by the way we've lived our life in the past. But once you decide to no longer live by those old set of rules that you lived by before, you can really look at it as two separate entities, right? The past me, the me that was trying to keep me safe, the me that was avoiding life, and now the me that acts in despite of what life may throw at me, because I'm acting true to my desires and I'm trying to find the truest version of myself. I'm trying to get everything that I say I want. I'm trying to be everything that I said I want to be. Therefore, no matter what comes to me, no matter what obstacles I face, I'm going to chase it because I feel like that's what fulfills me. I feel like that's what I want. That's who I am. That's just what I do. Main point of the video: the art of non-thinking is just the act of recognizing that first thought you have, realizing that it reflects the truest desires that you want, and not trying to overly control the process. Don't think everything through when it doesn't really matter. If there's true danger, okay, you can listen. But if there's no real danger in just finding out what's going to happen and learning that you can deal with it, you no longer have to fear that thing. Just go experience it, see that it doesn't kill you, see that it doesn't make you, and then come out stronger and keep trying, keep shooting, keep going for what you want. Because what you feel like you want, what you feel like is going to complete you, it never will. You're probably going to find something else again that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel like this completes me again. I feel like I need this again. I want it again. Yeah, but no, only thing you need is you. And that's the you that goes for what you truly want. Once you realize that, you'll be unstoppable. You'll be able to live your life in a more complete way, in my opinion. And yeah, I was all inspired to make this video just by reading this book. Every thought that comes to your mind, you don't have to associate with it. You can just observe it. Because why would you be the thought that you can observe? It doesn't make sense. If you can notice it taking place in your head, if it's something you can observe, it's not you. You can't observe yourself, can you? Not to my knowledge. So whenever you get caught up in the, inevitable thinking process, which happens, the first thing you can do is to just act before those thoughts arise and, see that it doesn't hurt you. If you wait a little bit longer or your body gets riled up, right? Because thoughts, that's the first line of offense, the first line of defense. The second line of defense could be your emotions, right? Say, for example, right? You have those thoughts, or you have a thought that you want to do something, and then you start thinking about it. And despite those thoughts that you're having, despite thinking it through and trying to convince yourself that you shouldn't do it, say you still decide to go do it. Now you feel emotion in your body. You feel crazy, right? You feel insane. You feel like you're doing something wrong. What I would then tell you to do is just breathe, calm your nervous system down first of all, because your mind and body, they're connected, but they're not the same thing. Right? Your mind might know better, but your body is still acting in a way where, you still align with the old version of yourself. You can control your body a little bit by breathing, filling your body with the oxygen that it needs, that is deprived of when you start getting nervous, because your attention is so diverted to what you think you want and not messing up that your other bodily functions start shutting down and start going crazy and it start malfunctioning in a way. Give your body the oxygen that it needs to function, then really think it through. Is this a thought that would give me what I want? That's how you know the difference between a thought and thinking. A thought is what reflects who you really want to be. And you can ask yourself that time and time again, just to confirm whether or not you really want the things that you say that you want, right? The thinking, they're oftentimes negative, oftentimes holding you back. So whenever you get caught up in the midst of a thought or what you perceive to be a thought or thinking, or you don't know the difference, ask yourself does this thought stop me from being who I want to be, or does it bring me closer to being who I want to be? And that's a pretty simple question to answer, right? This girl bad. Oh, she's probably too good for me. No, you said the girl bad though, right? You want to go talk to her. So obviously that thought saying she might be too good for me is not bringing me any closer to being who I want to be. Therefore, don't listen to it. You've now made the distinction. You don't got to listen to it. You know it's not you. You can keep moving. At that point, just go do what you want to do. Go do what you need to do. The real win is just doing what you want to do, acting on your desires. It's not even in getting the thing. It's just having the courage enough, in my opinion, to go for what you want. Let me know what you guys think of this whole topic in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.